Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, greatest screenwriter in the history of the world, recovering hobo, and I am apparently being evicted. I just got papers served, not for me, but to the guy I rent from. So some guy came up to my door in sunglasses and said, like, "Hey, is Frankie here?" I said, "No, he's not here." And he looked at me kind of like he was wondering, "Am I Frankie or something?" And he's like, "What's your name then?" So whatever, told him my name. He's like, "Oh, I'm just serving these court papers." Hand me this document. I'm like, "Oh, eviction." I look at it. It says the guy I rent from, Frankie, is being evicted for non-payment of rent. This is kind of thick document from the courts. He has 5 days to respond. And the thing is, we sublet from him. So me and my other roommates, we pay him. We've been paying him. And apparently, according to this document, he has not paid rent in 3 months, owes $8,900. I called him like 10 times, texted him about this, said, "Hey, you got these eviction papers?" He's not answering. I doubt I will ever see or hear from Frankie again. I might see him in that, I might just run into him somewhere. And if I do, so be it, whatever. Like, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. He would just disappear. Because what's he got to lose? Like, nothing. He's collected our rent. Apparently, he hasn't been paying it for the last few months. So, me and my other roommate, the more responsible one, the other one is an alcoholic. I told him, he was just kind of giggling. But the other one, he's trying to figure out too what's going on. We'll see whatever. Like as far as when they may change the locks and all that, because it looks like Frankie's not going to respond to try and at least get this extended. And the thing is, if he doesn't respond within 5 business days, it's a summary judgment, I guess, by the court to decide on an eviction. But I don't know what that means for the rest of us necessarily. I'm assuming we're all evicted, and we'll either have to try if they'll let us put the apartment in one of our names, which, it's going to be kind of a hassle. It's like I may very well have to be the person who ends up doing that. Then I'm going to have to collect rent from everyone and just make sure, like, we'll have to get another person here, and probably all of us will have to pay more in rent. The girl who terrorized us, so we had this girl here who lived with us for like a year or so, just absolutely like maniac, just would terrorize us, would scream. She had a problem with my roommate that was addicted to cocaine, I guess, but she had a problem with everybody. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but she would just start screaming at night, walking up and down the halls, screaming nonsense, witchcraft, gibberish. And she didn't like that he didn't clean the bathroom. This guy was a disgusting slob, to be sure. Like the bathroom they shared, like one I use, I kept clean. But anyways, the point I'm getting to about her is, aside from she sexually harassed me twice, apparently she hit on like all the guys here too. Uh, she would scream. One night the cops came, like a dozen cops came. We're trying to calm her down. She was just screaming like a maniac, saying she was going to kill the cocaine addicted roommate. All this wild stuff. Uh, that was like over a year ago now, like December 2021. She apparently basically she's been going in and out, like I don't know if she's living somewhere else now or what. She is, apparently she doesn't live here, but she hasn't been paying rent from what I understand. And so it sounds like when she didn't pay rent, Frankie just stopped paying rent to the landlord, and he didn't tell anyone, he didn't tell any of us. So now we have this notice, and it's kind of, I don't know, I was almost like in a way relieved, like, oh, finally, like just some certainty on what's going on, because Frankie is really mealy mouthed as far as telling us what's going on. I don't even consider this like that on the scale of bad things people do to each other. I'm just like, it sounds like something Frankie would do. Like, I thought he was cool, but yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not even mad at him. Like, I think it's like ridiculous and, absurd to do this to people, because he's been collecting our rent. So I've paid 3 months rent, and I have a deposit paid with him. And so that's 875 times 4. Let's just say 900 times 4. $3,600 roughly. $3,500 actually, because I pay 875 times 25 times 4. So yeah, $3,500. I just assume that money's gone. I'm never going to see Frankie again unless I run into him somewhere. And if I run into him, I'm not even going to be mad. But because I'm like, at this point, like, I just assume he's disappeared. Like, he has no reason to get back to any of us. I don't know what he's been doing that with that money, but this is just like, this is the cost of living when you're renting from a guy who's like him, who, is cool for a lot of things, and then, but like, this idea is cool to him too, to just disappear. I just talked to him the other day too, trying to get a new mailbox key. So, apparently I'm going to be pretty busy, I guess. I don't know, maybe not. Looking for a place to rent. I want to stay in Koreatown. I love Koreatown. It is relatively, as far as LA goes, it's not like truly a walkable neighborhood, but it's, as far as it goes, dense, compact. Like, there's lots of businesses near the apartments. There's not as much the NIMBYism that goes on in other places. NIMBYism being not in my backyard, where people don't want new developments, more urban densification, as far as like more apartments built, because the corny rich whites don't want apartments built around them because they think it'll bring down the character of their neighborhood, bring lower income people there. Just code for black people, brown people they hate. And in this area, that's not really as much as an issue, partly just because it's so fragmented that if you look at how it's divided up, the land, like, as far as which district is which, and I don't know, I guess people just, they have keep their heads down and go about their lives, whatever. But Koreatown's got a lot of new construction going on, which maybe for the best, maybe not. It depends how it goes. Like, I'd like to see a much more livable, like, people-centric, bike-centric, transit-oriented, which there's a lot of good transit here, but the buses don't run nearly enough and stuff. You got the Purple Line Metro here. Lots of businesses you can walk to. I get all my needs done. I don't have a car, so I get all my needs done on bike, walking, metro, a little bit of the bus. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. And I told my roommates, and one guy, the other responsible guy here, I was like, if you want to get a 2-bedroom with me in the neighborhood, like, I'd be up for that, like 1,100, maybe you'd pay a little more, but there are decent places around here from what I've seen. You got to look at it to be sure, that are reasonable in price. And I really do want to stay in Koreatown. I love it here. Like I said, it's beautiful. There's so many interesting places to go. I don't really go eat out much. I haven't eaten out in a while. Well, I did a Ciclovia, but it's kind of centrally located, where I'm right by Hollywood, and I can get to downtown easily. And it's not too hard to, like, go to Santa Monica if I want. I could ride my bike there, but I can take a bus, the big blue bus there, or get on the metro. Metro, I'd have to go east first to 7th Street, whatever, and then take the Expo line back west. But yeah, this is not too bummed out, because I'm like, hey, this is what I live for. Like, new levels bring new devils, like, new challenges are going to come up, and you got to deal with them. And I'm like, oh, it's been a while since I've had a big challenge. Well, not truly, because I've had some major ones. But now this is another one thrown to the mix, another variable to throw in there. So, for one thing, this is just an open call. If somebody wants to live with a very clean, very, like, organized person who keeps to themselves. I don't mess with anyone's food. I don't touch anyone's stuff in the shower. As far as I'm concerned, that's all sacrosanct. You should be able to leave your stuff out and not have anyone mess with it. I don't leave my stuff out for that reason, because people have messed with it. And that girl who moved out, she apparently stole my roommate's beer. I'm like, man, that's low. While she was coming back in and out. So Frankie changed the lock on the door so she couldn't come in, which is good. But now we're having to move out, which, may be for the best. But I don't know totally what's going on. I'm waiting to hear, are we going to have to move out? I'm assuming Frankie's not going to bother contesting this court or anything. He's just going to take our money, I should say, and disappear. So I'm just thinking, okay, probably plan on moving. Want to stay in Koreatown. For all I know, I'll move down the block. But if you're a person who's potentially looking for a roommate, let me know. Who's cool. I get up super early. I'm not loud. But no weirdos. Don't even bother offering me your weirdo stuff. I've gotten weirdo DMs from people, from guys, you know, looking for something other than just a roommate, and it's never going to happen. So don't bother. Looking for strictly reasonable thing, or if you just know apartments or places I can look around. I don't have a ton of money. I'm not trying to spend a ton. I'd rather have a roommate and just save my money than have to spend, you know, potentially like $1,400 a month for a studio, which would cut into my income quite a bit. I make probably around, I'm trying to think, 3,000 a month after taxes, and I think I'll get a tax refund. I'm pretty sure I will. I'm waiting to hear back. But yeah, so about 3,000 a month. Wait, is that right? Yeah, 2,800, 2,900, close to 3,000. So with my other bills too, you know, all I have, my regular expenses are my cell phone basically, and my classes that I pay for. But this is definitely something that, you know, I should spend all that money out for a while. I'd have a few thousand extra dollars. But interested in seeing, you know, what are options people know of. I mean, Craigslist has showed me all right things. If I go around the neighborhood in Koreatown, there are lots of buildings that have places, rooms advertised. And the thing is, too, I want a place, first of all, the landlord's got to be decent and stuff. The property management here has been actually pretty cool to us, pretty good, fixing the water and stuff. And I want it to be not along a big, huge strode like Beverly or Melrose, but I want it to be actually like in, all the roads are huge here, but somewhere where that's pretty walkable, where I can walk straight to, I can ride my bike reasonably, and I can walk to where I need to go. So like being centrally located in Koreatown is awesome for me. It's been such a blessing, and I really hope to be able to stay within this neighborhood. So it depends, you know, what shakes out, and I'm trying to move as quickly as possible because I know I don't want to let this drag out for long and potentially be locked out. And I'm counting on them not trying to do that to us, but you never know. It's illegal to do that, to lock people out before judgment and stuff, and also, you know, take people's possessions, throw them away. But if I can't get my stuff, you know, it's like, yeah, I could sue potentially later, or if they cut off the water or something, yeah, that's all illegal, but it's going to make life difficult. So I'm not even trying to drag this out. I just want to get looking for places. So I figure start looking. I'd like for my roommate, if he's open to it, you know, just look for a place with me, but I don't know what his plans are too. I was just talking to him a few minutes ago. So this is interesting. Angela's being, well, Frankie's being evicted, but that effectively means Angelo's being evicted, and all of us. And that girl who didn't pay rent, she's gonna keep creating misery around her. I'm not even trying to say it like, you know, she did anything. It's just like, that's what she does. I'm sure the last place she lived, she had to leave like this too, where she couldn't stand. I was like, you know, I have no issue with like men living with women or women living with men. I used to live with all women, but I lived in a house in Arlington. In my old videos, it was actually all women who lived there, and it was like a family basically, like grown women and the cousin or whoever. But I was like, for her, why is she moving in with us, a bunch of guys? I'm like, she probably can't get along with other women. Like, she is hell enough to live with. And like, you know, we got to be careful. We can't be, you know, overly aggressive or anything, you know, and you shouldn't do that for anybody. You know, it's like, people are going to act bad. You kind of got to let them act bad for the most part. What are you going to do? Especially when you live with them and they know how to get at you when you're sleeping. So, you know, she's made a miserable life for herself, done all kinds of stuff to terrorize us, and she will continue to, I'm sure, because nobody leaves a situation like this and it doesn't just stick to them, like how awful they are. So, you know, I'll be leaving with my dignity. I really like this place. I keep thinking how much I admire it now, but I'll have to move on somewhere. Also, I don't fucking know how long the internet's going to be on here, because I doubt Frankie's going to keep paying for it. And I'm definitely, anyways, whatever. So that's another reason. Like, yeah, say they let us stay another 6 months, drag it out or whatever. I guess I could try and get the internet in my name. Yeah, but why bother? That's the thing. I'd have to start a new contract with Spectrum, so not really worth it if I'm just planning on moving out. So let me know any tips. I know the tips are kind of like what everybody already knows, which is, you know, look at the place, consider how far you want to move from where you are. I do not want to move far. I'll be fine. Like, I've been homeless before. If you don't know, I was homeless for 2.5 years, and I wanted to be homeless. Now, I had to be, but I wanted to be. And, I know I'm resilient. Like, I'll figure this out, but it's going to take some figuring out. So, we'll see. I'll keep you all updated. For now, I'm looking for a place in Koreatown, preferably just with one roommate who's real cool and cleans up after themselves, keeps it relatively quiet. I don't care if you have, your dates over, whoever, all that stuff. That's cool, as long as they're respectful as well. So anyways, let me know, everyone, what you think. Bye.